last time I was here, I made a mistake. I said I came to Bedford in 1932. Wasn't quite right. Missed it by a few years. It was 77. But I guess those things just happen. I call them mistakes. And it seems like a few people around here make mistakes.
32 years ago.
77, yeah, is much more realistic. Now, I'm not saying I wasn't here in 1932. No, I wasn't alive then, so I don't know where I was then. Have no idea. But anyway, I'm coming here with a thought process for you guys to think about. And that it's the problem. What is the problem? I keep hearing the word truancy and curfew, and those are legal terms, and they cover up the problem. They don't take care of the problem. And that's what everybody is missing completely, 100%. We haven't solved the problem of children not going to school. And the reason they're not going to school is because of discipline. That's a big word, discipline. Never was mentioned tonight. It should have been. Discipline is what is the basis of education. When you use curfew and truancy, you don't have to use the word discipline. We'll use a policeman. It's like makeup. We'll cover over it. We won't take care of the problem at all. We'll have nothing to do with what the problem is. We'll just cover it up and we'll make it act or it sound like that we're solving all the problems. I think we had, what they say, 2 cases they found since this law went into effect, since this curfew went into effect. Did that solve any problems? I think we have problems with parents. Parents are not caring. And a lot of parents that we have out here are caring. There's a lot of them that aren't. And when I was in school, we didn't have this problem. And you guys are not solving what the problem is. And you're covering it up by saying you're going to be using, again, curfew and truancy. And you guys don't understand that that does not solve the problem. Well, in reality, it almost looks impossible. We can't solve the problem. How do you tell the parents, how do you tell the 14 homeless children what to do? That's kind of hard, but that's where the problem is. The problem is with the kids who skip out of school. Why are they skipping out of school? Because they have no discipline. They don't have to go to school. They don't want to go to school. The country is a part of the problem. It is not a part. It's a big part of it. It's a big problem. We have a lot of talk about socialism taking over. Socialism means that you don't have to work anymore. It means the government will take care of you from cradle to grave. That's not the way this country works, but you guys are falling for it, especially your green business. That's bad words to me. That's real bad. That's saying, let the government take care of me. You know, what you're saying is Al Gore is right. You guys know, you've heard recently that Al Gore is completely wrong. If you haven't heard it, you haven't been looking into it deep enough. What I'm saying is we need to find another solution. Truancy and curfew does not solve the problem. And what will solve the problem is what somebody was saying earlier, was that the community has been degraded. Schools have been degraded. You guys are old enough to know that. I don't know about you, Chris. You're not quite there yet. But a lot of us do know how bad it's been degraded. And this is where the problem is. How are we going to solve the overall big solution? Or what is the overall big solution to everything? And this council can't solve it. This council has responsibilities with the streets, the sewers, all the other things that everybody's been mentioning, and you'll be hearing plenty of it, I guess. That's your responsibility. For you to assume that you can take care of truancy, or which is not really the problem, that you can take care of children, the 14 homeless children, I heard somewhere there was 50% of the kids are skipping out. I don't know if that's true or not. It probably is. The way it used to be, it was more like 5% were maybe skipping out back in my day. Now it's something like 50%. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. It's still bad, whatever it is. And you can't cover that problem up by saying truancy and curfew. That doesn't take care of it. You're pushing it to the side. You're saying we're not going to face what the real problem is. You're using the curfew as an excuse to say that, okay, this is what our problem is. It's the curfew. We just have the curfew. Everything's taken care of. No more problem. You guys are foolish, and I can say that word. I'm not being degrading. I'm talking about what you're being. By thinking that a curfew, we've had 2 cases come up in the last, since what, September? I don't know. You're up with it. 2 cases. Is that a solution to the problem of children not going to school? Not even close. And you guys are acting like you're solving the problem. And that's a joke. And I'm disgusted, as you can tell, that you're using that as an excuse to say we're taking care of the problem. Yeah, I have a solution. I have a bunch of copies here that I'd like everybody to have. What I say in here is extreme. It is meant to be extreme. It's when people get it, they look at it and say, oh, we can't do that, we can't do that. I talk about things like when we elect Congress, senators, presidents, we have no remuneration. That means you don't pay them. And I bring that up because that comes right back to the city council. It's not just, I'm talking about the overall community. We don't have people in our community that understand how things work. They don't know what socialism is. They don't know what capitalism is. And the only way that we're going to solve these problems of not curfews and not truancy, the problem is kids skipping out and not having discipline. And the only way we're going to solve that problem is educating their parents, along with the children and along with the community. And you guys can't educate the community and the children and all of that. And it's not your job. I've got an operation here that can. No, it'll be hard. What we're talking about is changing the world. And you don't change the world overnight. And you don't change it in a council meeting. But you don't use the council meeting as saying, as presuming that you're going to correct the children that are not attending class. I wish you all would get off of that and quit trying to say you're going to correct everything and make everybody feel good, because you're going to have a curfew that keeps the kids off the street. You haven't changed one kid that is homeless, that is skipping school, that's in these different programs, that's in jail. That's a whole new area that has to address that situation. I would love to address it, and what I've got here is a start, and I would love to present it to these people because they seem to be people who are interested in doing something that's right. They understand the Constitution. They understand what you're doing is wrong. Like the gentleman, couple before me, was very clear, and I'm sure more people coming up will have the same thing to say. But you guys are not doing it right, and I wish you would reconsider completely and not think that you're going to solve the problems of the world, because you're not. And you're not going to solve the problems of the HEB Independent School District at all. Zero effect. Yeah, you're going to keep them going to school, but you're not going to solve the problem. The problem is the discipline these kids have. And you're covering it up, and you're not letting the school district realize that they're not doing a very good job either. They're not considering discipline the way they should be. I could keep going here for quite a while, so I'll go on and leave it there. But and I intend to come back in a couple of weeks, and a couple of weeks after that,